Yeah, the March 13th, 2025 CB8, that's right, this is the general meeting. Members voted to table the vote on sending the report as dated to the Department of Transportation regarding the Underhill Bike Boulevard pending member review of the full report. The data was sent to the full membership body and pending community member that requested a copy on March 14th, 2025 for review and due comments are received. As such, the previous recommendation of the EST committee to present the data report to the NYC Department of Transportation for review to see if modifications or amendments are necessary in lieu of submitting recommendations for change to the agency still stands. The committee hopes the full board will support the recommendation to send the data.
Any questions on the request? Yes.
Hi, my name is Linda Balsama, and I wanted to ask you, Robert, and the committee why you didn't include some of the issues that the people that gave live testimony at the committee brought up, the senior citizens, the teacher with multiple sclerosis, the children with autism.
The full transcript of all testimonies will be included in the data being sent to DOT. And thank you for actually filming that and making it very easy for us to do it.
So, but it's not in the summary?
It is alluded to in the summary. There are elements of the summary that are directly drawn from those testimonies.
Can you just clarify for the group here before they vote how that's been put in the summary?
Allow me to get the summary.
Did you change it from the one?
Nope. There are several points where that was brought into the conclusions, mostly in the operational section at the bottom of Roman numeral 7, paragraph 5, and also in the conclusions we talked about in Roman numeral 8, paragraph 2, section C, that we heard about the operational issues, concerns of local residents, businesses, and other stakeholders.
So would you guys be willing to kind of clarify that a little bit more, just to advocate more for the seniors and people with disabilities in our community? No.
Yeah.
That's a no?
This has been prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. PHNDC has a conflict of interest on this vote. Will you ask them to recuse themselves from this vote?
I'm sorry. Just say that again.
Conflict, well, who's got the conflict of
Excuse me,
interest?
Mrs. Dayton. Can you just repeat that?
Yeah. PHNDC has a conflict of interest in this vote. Will you ask them to recuse themselves from this vote? Since they're getting money, okay, just so that you...
I don't understand. What's the conflict? What's the conflict? Tell us what's going on, because I don't understand.
Okay, so oh, I'm sorry.
Who's supposed to be recusing?
Hang on.
Wait a minute. What's the question?
Who's recusing themselves? Who's supposed to be recusing themselves?
I asked you a question first.
I don't hold on a second. Sidebar conversations. Hold on.
Sorry, I'm asking the question if I can ask
Yeah, just
ask her.
say it louder.
Oh, I'm so sorry, and I apologize for not putting up my hand, Madam Chairperson. Would you mind explaining to me, because I'm a little lost, on who has the conflict and why?
Okay. PHNDC is a group that is getting funding from the city and God knows who else to run this open street
Program.
We're not
program.
on the streets right now.
No, there's an open street part to the Underhill Plaza.
That's not what this is on though right now.
No.
Excuse me, thank you, but excuse me. We just want to remain with what is at hand.
Right.
Okay, so let Mr. Witherwax has finished. If there's a question that's related
That's the question.
to this,
Well, that's my...
we'll be happy to answer it.
That was the question. Will you
Right,
ask?
you're talking about open streets and...
No.
Just mention it.
No.
You're asking for members,
So
specific members to recuse.
So there are two aspects to the open streets. It's still kind of qualified as the Underhill Plaza, and then there's Vanderbilt, which is completely separate. But the Underhill Plaza, I believe Robert Wright is managed by the PHNDC, and they have events and they get money, and they're looking for funding. So because this is about, no, it's not. No, because it's about Underhill Avenue.
Excuse me, let me just say this. So you're explaining what the conflict is, but I'll tell you tonight, there are no PHNDC members here to vote.
Isn't just data about recommendations?
It's data. It is data, exactly. It's about data being submitted. Okay? So, do we have another question before we move to a motion? Yes.
I was wondering if, I'm not sure if it was clear that the lower portion of Underhill Avenue, the part between Pacific and Atlantic Avenue, is the portion that is being sought for funding. We're not talking about from Pacific to Eastern Parkway, but there is a portion of Underhill Avenue that concept actually plays into, and I was wondering if you all were aware of that part.
They closed that off.
But it's also part of programming that funding is being sought for, being run by PHNC. That was what I was wondering if you all were aware of that part.
So I just want to repeat, our motion is to send the data. That is our motion. So again, I'm looking, if there's not another question, Mr. Cook, are you
So that's a
adding
no.
anything new to it? Okay, thank you. So I'm looking for a motion and a second, please. Thank you. Ms. Cook.
I should pull off making a motion. That's very good. Get me really fast around here. Make a motion to support the committee's recommendation that we send all of the data and feedback. No?
Yes, no, you're doing well. Come on, Ms. Taylor, you're doing fine.
That we send them all along as the committee recommends.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Langley. When you're ready, Secretary?
I am ready. Corporation comment. Said yes already.
So that question was for Vanderbilt, not.
Yes.
Diane Duke. Yes. Tamika Gibbs.
Yes.
You can ask it again.
Tamari John King.
Are they going to do Underhill?
I'll circle back to them. Francis Langley.
Yes.
Barbara LaPointe. Yes. Dr. Sarah Lazar.
So this,
Lisa Maldonado.
Yes.
William Ian.
Yes.
Quasi Mensa.
Abstain.
People are
Amy Mitchell.
Yes.
Yor Ortiz Joyner.
Yes.
Treya Petway. Robert Puka.
Yes.
Yaya Raji.
Yes.
Mr. King back.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Abstain.
Thank you. Anika Roach. Connor Ross.
Yes.
Brian Saunders.
Also yes.
Robin Smith.
Yes.
Meredith Staten.
Yes.
Katie Taylor.
Yes.
Dana Thompson.
Abstain.
Mark Thurton.
Yes.
Esmond Turnbull. Yeah. Kimberly Watson. Ursula Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Sharon Wedderburn.
Yes.
Robert Witherwax.
Yes.
Deborah Young.
Yes.
That is 24
Robert?
yeses, 6.
Sorry, I need my vote to abstention, please.
Okay.
And in full spirit of disclosure, I am a PHNDC member.
There you
So
go.
put that on the table, but that in no way constitutes a conflict.
Yeah.
23 yeses.
said he's a member of
0 noes, and
PHNDC.
7 abstentions.
Now it's not-
Motion
Of
passes.
interest?
Oh, you do.
It's,
Yes, 23 yeses, 0 noes, 7 abstentions.
but the,
So I stand corrected. We do have two PHNDC members in the room. And we don't see a conflict that is present. So I'll just make that statement. Next will be the executive committee.
Okay. I'll be reading that order. The executive committee met on Wednesday, March 26, 2025 at the Community Board 8 District Office. The committee discussed the open streets applications that have been recently approved by the New York City Department of Transportation. The locations are as follows. Vanderbilt Avenue from Atlantic Avenue to Park Place on Saturdays from May 3rd, 2025 through September 27th, 2025 from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Number 2, Franklin Avenue from St. Mark's Avenue to Eastern Parkway on Saturdays from June 7th, 2025 to October 25th, 2025 from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Number 3, the Prospect Place between Grand and Classen Avenues on Saturday from July 5th, 2025 through July 26th, 2025 from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The committee voted 7 in favor, with 2 abstentions, to abide by the agreement between the community partners and the Department of Transportation, in hopes the full board supports this recommendation.
They won't let us.
Yes.
They won't let us.
Can I just ask what we mean by abide by the agreement?
Well, DOT submitted their approval of these 3 open streets. And we are saying that we are not objecting to what has been presented, what they have provided.
Got it.
Decision.
Thank you.
Dr. Lassen.
So I remember from the presentation on the Franklin Avenue proposal, at least something that concerned me a lot was the idea of, Franklin Avenue has a very important bus route that goes down it, and I was just concerned about how this would impact it. And I don't recall that Department of Transportation gave us an explicit answer on what exactly, like where the bus was gonna go, like where it was gonna be rerouted to, and I was wondering if if the existing committee is more specific.
Yeah, we are not aware of rerouting. Someone has a question?
Yeah, I'm from Bridge Street, and we submitted the application.
Okay, please stand up. What's your name?
Hi, Tiara Robertson. Hi. Just as far as an update from DOT and MTA, they have taken our application, they've spoken to MTA, they haven't come back with a final answer because they have to take it up the chain of command, but as soon as we have an update, we will definitely provide an update as to what the exact reroutes will be. And the time actually on the application is 11 to 7, but we will only operate from 12 to 6. 11 to 7 is for setup and breakdown.
Thank you. Thank you for offering that. Thank you, Ms. Lee. Excuse me?
Did DOT or Bridge Street people reach out to the people along these avenues that take the bus and live along these corridors? This is we see what Vanderbilt does. Now you're checking off other major streets. Well, had they reached out to the community? I didn't see any community outreach. I know, especially I can speak on Franklin Avenue. So has any community outreach been along any of these corridors that cross Franklin Avenue? Because we get a lot of traffic from the Vanderbilt every weekend situation. Now we move over to another major. Somebody answer that question?
Is it the same date?
Same
date.
Saturday.
If you approve this, yeah.
It's literally every Saturday and Sunday. It's basically every single Saturday and Sunday.
The Vanderbilt one is every Saturday.
It's not every Saturday. We submitted for 2 Saturdays out of the month. We have just begun to do our resident outreach. We didn't want to alarm people before we got the actual approval of the application. So we have a team, we have flyers, we've gone to the businesses with full dates, times, locations. We will be doing our business outreach. We are meeting with block and tenant associations, community boards, which is why I'm here, and we will be establishing a website for Franklin Avenue. It will launch May 1st. I have cards, I have flyers that I've left here, and we will be beginning our outreach to the residents.
So,
Ms. Robinson, right?
Yes.
What Saturdays? Just bring them there now.
The first Saturday is June 7th. The following date is June 21st.
So it's every other?
Just about every other. Okay. Yeah, we exported holiday weekends, and then if there's inclement weather, we don't post a tree.
Sure.
just to make sure I heard this clear and everybody else heard this clearly. You submitted the application to DOT without any community.
Well, we did make a presentation to the EST committee. We met with the Department of Transportation, Crystal Hudson's office, the 77th precinct. The Franklin Avenue Emergency Association have conducted their own outreach, but we did not want to, because we knew this would be, an issue for residents. We didn't want to alarm people that anything would be changed until we had the full scope of what we were requesting. So our business outreach, we met with the funeral homes, the senior centers, and we've been in contact with the community boards as well.
Thank you. The first hand I saw, Mr. Whitterbass, did you want to say
I
something?
wanted to hear what Tiara said about the fact that the bus rerouting comes later in the cycle.
Thank you. Robin Smith.
So, this is every other Saturday?
For how many Saturdays?
Because it says Saturdays from June 7th to October 25th. It doesn't say every other Saturday.
That's how DOT wrote it to us.
That's how you wrote
They
it.
don't say early, so that's what we're putting in.
Okay.
They didn't say every other Saturday, they said Saturdays and this particular date for that week.
Mr. Mensah.
Why are you trying to make things so difficult for motorists? Why are you trying to make things so difficult for motorists?
Why are we making?
Why are you trying to do this?
Well, we submitted this application on behalf of the Franklin Avenue Merchants Association. This is something that they have requested. Bridge Street is the fiscal sponsor and we will be providing operations for all the Saturdays. This was.
But you admit you're doing that. You admit you're doing that. You admit that it's happening.
Admit that we're.
You're making the things tougher for motorists. It's tough now, making it worse.
I understand that this is a pain. This is a city initiative. This Open Streets is a permanent initiative. It's something that we can't avoid. We were trying to do this as
If we don't want it, we
best
don't
we
have to
could
take it.
make easier for the neighborhood.
Let her finish.
So this is, I understand this is a pain. Trust me, I've had this conversation hundreds of times. But this is something that, we're trying to bring more business to the corridor. We're trying to do something for the neighborhood. This is a community effort, and all of our programming is family friendly.
Ms. Young?
Why are we picking her
I want to say that I think, open streets, you have those who are for it and against it. I think it's a way of where the direction we're going in, but I think that the Franklin Avenue, the way they have come to the table and presented their program, they have taken into consideration the fact that they're not doing it 3 days a week, the fact that they're not doing it every Saturday, the fact that some of the merchants along Franklin Avenue are not happy because they were not included because of the transportation issues and wanting to minimize that. So while we won't necessarily, it is an inconvenience to some of us, that's granted, but I do think that the way this was presented with taking some of the issues that we've been complaining about with the open streets has been taken into consideration. So it's like a balance. And too often we find ourselves in positions where there's no balance, there's no consideration for the community at large. But in this particular case, I feel that the way it was presented and how they're going to program it, there was some give and take and say, let's be considerate of the community. No, we're not going to just abort the plan, but how do we make it less stressful, yes, and work better. So I think that they should be recognized for that.
Very good, very good.
Thank you.
I absolutely agree. I think you guys did an incredible job. I was so pleased with your presentation. As you know, UNPCH started in the Prospect Heights side because the PHNDC, who is not here tonight to make a I don't know, Robert, are you willing to talk about the? Okay, calm down. What I'm saying is, all right, calm down. What I'm saying is, Bridge Street is here, which is great, but I don't know if the PHNDC members who are here are able to answer the questions about the Vanderbilt one, which include It would be great if the PHNDC would give a presentation just like Bridge Street did. I don't see why one organization did it and the other didn't. But I know that there are, because there was a lack of community outreach, we stepped in and we canvassed and we walked around and we went to our churches and we sent the community board, I believe, 6 or 7 letters from the Foodtown block. And I know you guys are in touch with Mr. Whitty, who owns Foodtown. Those businesses have been asking to be removed from the footprint. We also had a meeting with our 8 faith leaders, and St. Joseph's Co-Cathedral was expressing that when you close Atlantic and Pacific, that block of Vanderbilt, and then they also closed Underhill during the open street, the church seats 1,000 people. And sometimes they have events on Saturdays like graduations and concerts and funerals, and people have to drive through the McDonald's to get to their church. And it's just not tenable, it's not safe, and the elders can't get there. So they're asking that that block be removed for easier access to the church. We also suggested that, to answer Ms. Gibbs' question, that they do every other Saturday so that there aren't 2 open streets running on the same Saturday. So when you vote to just accept the other question I have is, we're in the 45-day commenting period, right? So my concern is if you guys just vote to accept what the PHNDC put into the DOT, and how are the public comments getting to DOT? Because DOT tells us to bring them to CB8, and Ms. Weatherspoon, you told us to bring them directly to DOT. So we're just kind of going in a loop, and then how is the community feedback? Because the PHNDC isn't taking it.
Yeah, we're not going to. We have submitted all feedback to DOT, and so have you. So they have the feedback.
But if you're voting to override it, you're giving it the stamp of approval.
We're not overriding anything. We and just repeat the
The last part is the committee voted 7 in favor with 2 abstentions to abide by the agreement between the community partners and the Department of Transportation.
Right. So what that means is that the PHNDC submitted an application to operate the open street, I think from May to September, every Saturday from, I think, 11 to 10.
Yeah.
And it would go from Park all the way down to Atlantic. So what we've asked the PHNDC to take into consideration, there's also Mr. Muzio, who you all know, the 82-year-old disabled veteran who lives across from the Foodtown. There are a lot of people on that Foodtown block who are asking that that block be removed because it's not used and it's causing a lot of disruption to their business. So we're asking if you would advocate for shrinking the footprint, because the PHNDC is not going to do it, and the DOT won't do it without a community recommendation. And we all know that no one takes us seriously, right? So.
Well, I don't agree with that, because we've listened to you time and time again. So when you make a statement like that, that's just not even accurate.
Well, I know you listen.
Ms. Young?
Yes, I'm trying to frame my words. Thank you. This has been going on for a while now. And the community board, please correct me if I'm in error, the community board doesn't apply, we don't make the applications, we don't make the decisions. But I think where we are right now, while the request that has come forth has not been honored in totality, the fact that we've moved from 3 days to 1 day, I think we should say, okay, there's something that was given. It may not be everything, nobody's going to get everything, but I think that the fact that it's been reduced is significant, and it minimizes, doesn't take away, some of the stress that many of us have had to face based on 3 days in the closing of streets. So we can beat this to death if the decision has been made with DOT, but I think we should look at the glass as half full versus half empty and say, okay, at least it's down to 1 day.
You know what?
I'm happy about that, but it is a concession.
I completely appreciate that.
Excuse me. So, excuse me, Mr. Puka, then Mrs. Saunders.
Madam Chair, with all due respect, it's 9:35. We've been here since 7 o'clock. We've had much discussion, more discussion than many of the community board meetings I've been to in the last 20 years. I would like to please go home and have dinner and relax before I have to go to work tomorrow. Can we please move on to the vote?
Well, I'm going to hear from Mrs. Saunders.
PHNDC?
Ms. Booker, thank you for your response. So what I am going to say is, every recommendation, when we put it through the community partnerships, it was put together with that, right? And forwarded to DOT. So we did hear everything you said. It was not on deaf ears.
No,
But
we know.
What you're saying is, we did move it forward, and we're going to put it with the package. Am I correct?
Correct.
So.
Oh, well, that would be nice.
The recommendations about the footprint, everything, that's not what heard you. We heard you about the, Vanderbilt Park Place, Pacific. We heard about that also.
Oh.
And we put it in there.
Oh, okay.
So,
But we didn't know that.
I don't want you to think that we're not listening to you. We did listen to you, but we put it forward in the package to send to them also. As well.
Okay, it's confusing the way you have the motion.
I feel offended by
Really?
saying that the community board has not listened.
I didn't say you didn't listen.
Gone to every committee
Yes, we did.
and allowed you to present.
I did not say you didn't listen.
We have heard you and has said.
Well, what you said exactly is that we didn't take it seriously.
Yes.
That's what you said.
Yes.
And I think that we did take it seriously, and I think that we have respect.
I said no one as in,
For our community.
well, let me just clarify. I said no one as in the PHNDC and DOT. I didn't mean no one including the community board.
That's not what you said.
Well, let me clarify it so there's no hurt feelings. I didn't mean it that way.
I agree with Puka, we need to take it to vote.
Absolutely. So are you making a motion, someone please?
But they know they're wrong.
Second.
Now these three, like they shouldn't.
Robert Callaghan abstained, Edward Delman.
Yes.
Diane Duke. Nika Gibbs.
Abstain.
Corey John King. Mr. King. Francis Langley. Thank you. Robert LaPointe.
Yes.
Dr. Sarah Lazar.
We need quiet.
My first abstention.
So, Mr. John King, what was
He's
your
not
vote?
here. He's not here.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Langley, what is your vote, please? Mr. LaPointe, what is your vote, please?
Abstain.
Thank you. You can carry on. Over this side of the room, if y'all could please keep the chatter just to a minimum, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Dr. Lazar.
Abstain.
Lisa Maldonado.
I have a
Ms.
question.
Hall?
I have a question. Could I abstain for just one of these, not all three?
You're not divided. This vote is not divided. The motion is on all three.
Then I abstain.
William Meehan.
Yes.
Quasi Mensa. Mimi Mitchell.
No.
Your Ortiz Joyner.
Yeah.
Reyes Petway.
No.
Robert Puka.
Yes.
Dr. Khadijah Ramarak Yayaraji. Nika Roach. Connor Ross.
Yes.
Ezra Roth. Brian Saunders.
Yes.
Robin Smith.
Abstain.
Meredith Staten.
Yes.
Katie Taylor.
Yes.
Dana Thompson.
Abstain.
Mark Thurton.
Yes.
Kirsten Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Sharon Weatherford.
What?
Excuse me?
Esmond Turnbull.
No.
Robert Witherwax.
Abstain.
Deborah Young.
Yes.
16 yeses, 4 noes,
Wait a minute,
9.
I didn't hear your vote.
I said yes.
Thank you. Chatterbox is right here.
Craig, right here.
16 yeses, 4 noes, and 9 abstentions. The motion passes.
Okay, next up is the report from the nominating committee, the CBA officers.
Can we go?
Yeah.